All right, we are live. Let's go. All right, so just wanted to make sure we're good to go. Okay, cool. So, this your man Words Taylor. So in this video, we are talking about just real talk overcoming the weight loss plateau. All right. If you are just joining me or you're new to the channel, then you know that at one point in time, I was 464 pounds. I'm now weighing in at about 375 pounds. So now I did lose the 100 pounds. I've gained some of it back, right? So I did get under. I had lost about 120 pounds, but as you can see, I'm about 90 pounds down now. But either way it goes. So I've lost 100 pounds, and now I'm on this journey of actually losing another 100 pounds, right? And I'm understanding and learning that this process is hard. So I've been doing this series all about just overcoming the weight loss plateaus, overcoming the fear of losing weight. If you saw in my last video, the conversation I was having with my wife, I understand that part of the reason why I'm struggling right now is because I don't believe that I can lose the weight. I have this belief that I am where I am right now, and I've never seen myself apart from the weight. So it's very hard to just continue to go towards something that visually you don't believe in, that you don't see, right? And this is the hard part. And I'm not saying that it's not possible. I'm just saying where I am currently. And this is why, the Bible clearly says, like, lean not to your own understanding. Because in my understanding, in my own belief or doubt, I will stay in this same place and I won't move. Because in my understanding, there isn't a way, or this is not possible, or this is too hard, right? And so if you are somebody that's on your weight loss journey, then you could probably relate to this idea. Another thing that I just realized that this is the basis of the message that I want you all to get. All right. The basis of the message that I want you to understand is grace. And I'm not saying give yourself grace to eat whatever you want, because we've already been doing that. We've been literally eating whatever we desire to eat. And that's the reason why I'm overweight and obese and morbidly obese and all of these things. I'm saying grace as in realizing that from the time, my earliest memory of me being able to make a decision on what I eat is about 7 years old. I remember 7 years old, me eating hot Cheetos and pop. And that's not a good mixture. I remember going to middle school, and middle school was where I was taking a school bus to school, and a group of us, we would get off the school bus and then we would head over to the store. And if you had $1, you were good. If you had $2, okay, you could almost get anything you want. Don't let you come into that store with $3. You're a baller. $3, you're a baller. This was back then when we're talking about 25-cent chips. You could get the Nutty Buddies or the cream cookies for the 25 cents as well. You can get some penny candy. You can get something to drink. You left there with snacks that a person should take probably either a whole day or snacks for several days. And I'm eating this in one setting. So you got to think, I'm taking the 4 bags of chips and I'm mixing them all together. Taking 4 bags of chips and I'm mixing them together. I'm eating 4 bags of chips. I'm also eating the Nutty Buddy. I'm also eating the cookie. I'm also drinking the pop. All of this was me eating this in one setting. This is before even eating breakfast at school or lunch or dinner and all of these things. So now there's this habit that I've been doing for the last 30 something years. And now I'm telling myself that, hey, that habit that you created and this way of coping that you used to do, all of that needs to stop in 2 weeks. And you need to completely have reconditioned your mind to start thinking more healthy. All your choices need to be healthy. You need to completely recondition your mind to start to say no, even when you're getting stressed, or if this is the way you used to cope, you need to completely cope in a different way. And all this needs to happen in 2 weeks. That is the grace that I'm talking about. Of you realizing that this transformation, this 2-week mind transformation, you transforming something that's been there for 30 years is not going to happen. Me transforming something that's been there for 30 years is not going to happen. Now, look, I'm not going to put limitations on God. I'm not going to do that. I'm just saying, me as a human, as a man, in my own mind, it's not going to happen. And this is why we fall into binge eating. The reason why we fall into binge eating, of course, the foods that we eat make us crave more. There could be sleep, dehydration, all of these things. But the reason I believe I fall into binge eating and we fall into binge eating is because when we're on these plans or dietary restrictions, one, we're restricting ourselves to the point of exhaustion. And we're restricting ourselves to a point of perfection. And there's no room for error. Because if there's any room for error, then I feel the guilt, I feel the shame, and I say, okay, I'm done. I'm just going to eat whatever I want. It's not working. I tried. And when you give yourself grace, then you realize that on a journey, there are ups and downs. There's twists and turns. On a journey, I may set out that morning to say, you know what? I'm going to make my healthy decisions. I'm going to drink my water. And I may end up, the temptation became too much. I have a cookie. I'm not saying plan to have a cookie. I'm saying that the temptation may be so much. I'm around people and I see them and I'm like, goodness, I gave in to have a cookie. And instead, grace looks like me saying, you know what? I have this cookie. It's cool. The next thing that goes in my mouth, it has to be something that serves my body. And then I do that. And then I make a commitment within myself. Okay, the next thing after this should be something that serves my body as well. Right? And then I look at it and I won the day. I look at it and yes, I may have not made a healthy decision this one time, but the next 3 decisions were. That's what grace looked like. Now, me saying that is very easy. Now I'm trying to implement this thing in my life. I was watching a video and the person said something so great. He said, he talked about, we consider Steph Curry one of the greatest shooters of all time. But we don't realize that he misses 60% of the shots that he shoots. So the 40%, he's shooting 40%, he's hitting 40%, and we still consider him the greatest shooter of all time. But he's missing 6 out of 10 shots. And I said, that's amazing. You can be at 40% and still be winning. He's shooting 40% and still winning. And I look at it as, okay, if I had to make 4 decisions that day, and one of them, I made a decision to eat something that did not fuel my body, right, in the way that I want to, but the other 3, that means I'm hitting 75% of my shots. That means 75% of the shots that I'm putting up are winning. I'm with all that smoke. And that's what I have to tell myself. Wait a minute. Okay, cool. If I want to average 75%, if I say, okay, cool, I'm going to tell myself the goal is, hey bro, you already, because of intermittent fasting, I'm gonna eat twice a day, sometimes maybe 3. Maybe I get 3 meals in, or 3 times to eat. Okay. Hey, bro, if you can go 2 out of 3, we good. 3 for 3 mean you had a perfect game. All right, I'm not mad at that. But if you can hit 2 out of 3, then we're good. And let that be where you start. Let that be where I start. Or even even if I start at 1 out of 3, I don't mind the 1 out of 3, because at least that's starting to some consistency, right? All right. So the first thing I have to recognize in order to get out of the plateau is we have to establish a level of grace. Giving yourself grace enough to be aware that, yo, we didn't just get here in 2 weeks. This was years. It took me years to build this body. Took me years. Okay? Took me years to build this body. But I have to realize that this is compound interest. So what I have to do now is start my other journey, my journey of health and nutrition and getting this body to optimal health and healing this body. And I have to start establishing my compound interest there. Maybe 33% is all I can give, 1 out of 3 meals. Maybe that's where it starts. But as I get stronger, as I become more consistent, then I'm at 66%. As I get stronger, as I become consistent, I'm at 100%. Like I'm able to make some great choices in a day. Now I have to start looking at the week. Now I'm like, okay, I just want to win 5 out of 7 days. If I could win 5 out of 7, that's a great percentage. I can start winning. I can consistently win the weeks. And if I'm consistently winning the weeks, then I'm consistently winning the month. You know, if I'm doing 5 out of 7 days, that means there's eight days. So there's 22 days where I've made decisions that is going to actually heal my body and help my body. There's 8 days where maybe I didn't. Or there's 8 days where maybe I was only at the 33% instead of 100 or 66. So I still had some great choices in there, but I didn't fully win the day. That's grace. That's what grace looked like. And that's what I was doing on my journey. When I initially lost my 100 pounds, my first 100 pounds, like, y'all, I wasn't even getting on the scale. I had gotten on ones. That's how I knew I was 460 something pounds. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. I didn't get back on until I was 434 pounds. I wasn't attempting to lose weight then. I had just decided that I was going to stop eating some things and start moving. It's like, yo, I'm just going to start moving. This is ridiculous. I'm about to be 500 pounds. Okay. So another thing, the overcoming weight loss plateau. Here's the biggest, oh my God. This thing, number 2, all right, comparing my journey to other people. Man, I'm telling you all, this causes the biggest plateau, especially when you see, man, like I started before this person, or this person started with me, or this person started after me. I'm doing the same thing they're doing, or why is it that you start comparing? Once you start comparing yourself to other people, or you're comparing your body to other people's body, and then you're comparing we hear this all the time, their level 10 to your level 1. I do this so much. And it starts to talk you out of the journey. The more you compare, the more you are literally talking yourself out of the journey. And if you just get to a point where like, nah, this journey is my journey. And that's the only thing I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get myself to a point where I'm just doing this journey and I'm doing it for me. And I'm basing it off of what I desire and not what I want to hear from other people, not what I want to see from other people, just that I desire to have a look that I admire. That's it. There's a certain way I want to dress that I admire. There's a certain feeling that I want when I wake up and when I walk. There's a certain feeling that I desire. Before we get into what I want for my son or my daughter or my wife, what I want them to see when they look, I'm talking about there's things that I personally desire from me. And that's the thing. And I think that's the scary part, is because you ever wanted something so bad. Like I said in this poem I said, you ever wanted something so bad that you cried about it? Yeah, now you know how I feel. Dreams at my fingertips. I'm trying to see how they feel. And that's real. You want something so bad that it brings you agony and pain. And then you look at it's like this experience that you have when you know I shouldn't do this because this doesn't represent what I said I wanted, but it almost like you don't have control over your actions. The pain of this, me saying no. And it's like, y'all, I only have, hold on. I'm not sure what happened there. Okay. Let me just use my other camera real quick. Okay, cool. We just use this camera to finish out. All right. But it's like this, y'all. I only have so many no's. I only have so many no's in me. So I also have to look at what causes the plateau is me putting myself in positions where I have to deliver so many no's. And after 3 or 4 no's, it's like, all right, well, I gave in. And then we get into the cycle again. So we get into the cycle. Okay. So comparing yourself, when you're living in this comparison, and then you step away from the comparison, and now you're putting yourself in a position where you have to constantly say no. I'm talking about when you're this early in the game and you have to constantly say no, that you're automatically on the plateau. Not automatic, but I'm saying if you're not at a place where you have built up your stamina. This is a game of stamina. Okay? And if our stamina is not built, y'all, if our stamina is not built, we're going to lose. We're going to lose this race. Okay? If your stamina is not built for this thing, we're going to lose. All right? Okay, there we go. All right. The third thing I would say that causes the plateau. All right. The third thing that I've noticed that just causes the plateau, when you're early in the stages of losing. I'm just telling you all what I'm going through as I'm on this journey. The third thing is the cheat days. The third thing is the cheat meals, y'all. I'm telling you, and this is something that I've been back on my journey for the last 6 weeks. And I've learned that if I go 5 days and I, if you will, cheat or just stop paying attention for 2 days, I will maintain that weight. I can maintain that weight. And that's what I've been doing. I lost the 100 pounds like 18 months ago. Like I finally hit 100 pounds about maybe a year to 18 months ago. For the rest of this time, this year, this 18 months, I've just been maintaining because I've just been doing 5 days on, 2 days off, 5 days on, 2 days off, 5 days on, 2 days off. And when you're trying to lose weight and you're now saying, hey, I'm starting a diet now and these 5 days, so you're restricting those 5 days. When you do those cheat meals, now what happens, this is literally what I'm finding. I could be 375. I will go those 5 days and I'm restricting myself. And I may get down to about 371, 370. But me having those 2 days of cheating, I'm coming back up to 377. I'm coming back to 375. Because I may go Saturday and Sunday on my cheat days. Well, Monday, I'm recovering. My body is recovering. It's inflamed, mucus, sodium, all this stuff is built up. I'm holding water, all this stuff. My body may be a little dehydrated. So Monday, Tuesday, we start seeing, okay, we're back to seeing some flush out. I'm at least back down to the 375 that I was when I started. Wednesday, now we start seeing loss again. Thursday, Friday get here, I weigh in, and now I'm at 372. Well, if I do that same thing again, I'm right back up to 377. Cheat meals are not working this early in the game. That's just real. They are not working this early in the game. I'm on the journey right now, and I'm locked into the journey. I do 20-hour fast per day, and I see there's time I lost 6 pounds in a week, and I did my cheat, and y'all saw on here. I went to Baton Rouge for 2 days. I came back. I gained 15 pounds. My coach said, "Well, our sales, I don't know how she put it. It's like she had the technical term for it, but I'm gonna just put it in how I understood. We have fat pockets. Our sales are expanded. So as you're going through the process of restriction, those old sales have to die off. But if you feed them again, they will go right back to expansion. Here's the reason why. It's because when we get to a point and say, all right, I'm going to change the way I eat, we're now trying to implement a new habit. This is not our normal behavior to eat this way. So when we introduce it on the weekend, your body is like, oh, this is our norm. And your body's trying to hold on to that. I cannot introduce cheat meals right now. That's just real. My body is not ready for cheat meals in this time. And I think that's part of the reason my hesitation for going all in. That is the hesitation right now. Because now I feel the restriction, and I don't want to feel the restriction, but I want to lose weight. I know there has to be a level of restriction in order to lose weight. I know I have to say no. And there's a level of fear in doing so. I feel like I won't be able to eat the things that I want ever. I know there will be a time where I can, but I realize that I shouldn't and I can't now. And I know there's going to be some people that may watch this and be like, no, you should be able to eat whatever you want, and you can eat. I don't know that you've been morbidly obese. I don't know. You may be talking from the body that you're in now and realizing that, no, I can still eat what I want and all of those things. And that's not me, though. There will be a time when I can't. I just don't think that's now. And that's the scary part. That's the part that I am running away from. And Coach Rowe would say, like, but you've been treating yourself. You're not going to miss out on anything. What food do you think you're going to miss out on? Name the food that you feel like you have to have that is more important than you living? You don't put it that way. What is the food that you think you're going to miss out on? And there's not one food that I can name that I feel like I'm going to miss out on, but I just feel like I'm going to miss out on it. That's the thing. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to miss out on it. Y'all hear me? So understanding the three things that have caused my plateau outside of me saying there's just a lack of belief is one, not giving myself grace. Two, the comparison for sure. Absolutely the comparison. And three, I would say the cheat meals. The fear that I'm going to miss out on food and I think it's because I've associated food with fun. And in my head, I'm like, well, if I'm not eating a certain type of way, then am I truly having fun? If I go out to this place with my friends and I don't get to eat the fries or the cookies or the stuff, am I really going to have fun? I'm not going to have any fun. And I've associated food with fun. So here's what I'm doing now, y'all. Okay, here's what. And I will let y'all know. Right now, I'm starting my 72-hour fast. Completely reset. As I told you I would do. I said I was going to do 65 hours, but I'm going to do 72 hours of fasting. And from there, I don't know where we go. And that's the other problem. Where do we go from here? So I'm going to pray, and in this fasting, I'm going to have that plan. I will be able to tell you all by the time we get to day 3, I will do a live and I will tell you all, okay, I'm just finishing up a 72-hour fast and here's where I'm going now. Okay. All right, y'all. I appreciate you all so much for just rocking with me on this journey. And let's do it, y'all. Ugh.